Hey guys, what's going on? Sincere here with whoissincere.com. Listen guys, I'm sure you already know what's going on right now. The standoff at the refuge in Oregon is over. The remaining four, Sean, Sandy, Jeff, and David have turned themselves in, with David being the last one. Gavin Sign, I believe it's SEIM, and Michelle Fior, the representative, were responsible for helping the standoff to end successfully. The media, of course, as Gavin said, and as we all know, spun it the way they wanted to spin it. I watched the way they spun it this morning on NBC, and it pretty much said, I'm gonna kill myself, and all this other kind of talk that happens in the heat of the moment, or you're gonna have to come in here and kill us to leave. The narratives of the mainstream media. So what they failed to put in, even though they had enough time to put in a 3-second clip of audio, what they failed to put in was all the prayers that were actually done on air and live, that Gavin, had most of the time. Michelle also prayed. And the people there at the refuge also prayed. Now, I'm a praying man. Those of you listening may believe in God, may not believe in God, but you're listening to a man that does believe in God. So I'll tell you firsthand that this didn't end up being a bad situation, because in my primary belief, because of the intervention of good. And that would be take one zero. If you take one O away from good, get God. Intervention of God. So good triumphed in this sense. And it ended without any loss of life, any further loss of life, other than Lavoy Finicum's life that was taken a couple weeks ago. So the standoff is over. Tonight at 9 o'clock, we're going to be doing a live show with Pete Santilli's wife, Deb, also with Brandon Curtis, and we're working on a few other people now. Actually, a couple other people, I'm sorry. I want you guys to tune in. We're going to be discussing a lot of things. I've been taking notes for about, I don't know, probably close to about the last 18 hours or so. I've been taking a lot of notes here. So I have pages and pages and things I want to go over, things we should all discuss, some things that we should remember. Those of you guys who have been following me long enough know I've been following since the beginning. We've been getting exclusive interviews, mainly with Brandon Curtis there from the Idaho 3 Percenters. Even from the time when everything was up to the time where people are saying that the Idaho 3 Percenters and PPN are, responsible for not providing enough security for Anon and his crew that, were going to the meeting that day. So we've been covering this before that. We've been covering it during it. We're covering it after. We're giving you guys the step-by-step Anon Radio Live and the Rights Matter show every second, every step of the way. So there's a lot of radio shows and news shows that have gotten on board here as of recent, and a lot of those guys and girls have been just reading, the articles, the slanted articles that are out there, and providing their own twist to it. So maybe they haven't heard the show like most of you that are listening probably have. So you've been through about the 10 hours of audio that we actually have, and we have it posted here on YouTube as well. Just type in the All Rights Matter show or Brandon Curtis and the All Rights Matter show, and everything that we've done with him will pop up. So, guys, we have a lot of things to clear up tonight as well. I went on a radio show last week, the Green Dragon Tavern, from Diametric Opposition, and I went kind of deep. They interviewed me for about 2.5 hours and just asking me my view on things. And I'm going to tell you something, guys. These are the moments that I'm made for, where the whole country is starting to lose clarity as far as what's important and why we're doing this. Is why I believe, praying, man, because I always pray about these kind of things. I'd like to have clarity on issues, and that's what I want to provide to the conversation tonight. So in a live interview, again, with Pete Tilly's wife, Deb, and with Brandon Curtis, we're going to be discussing a lot of things. Let's also pray for them. There's a nasty rumor going around, and I don't think it's really a rumor. I think it's the truth that about 80-something new indictments are coming down People are getting arrested left and right. I know I just got a post here a couple hours, I believe it was. Lane Cooper was arrested. There's also a couple journalists that are looking at getting arrested here. So they're rounding people up. The roundup has begun. We're in dangerous times, guys, and the things that the guys and girls, actually, the one lady, put out at the refuge throughout the night and through this morning, they are hard hitting things, and that's why the media can only put up a little 3 second clip and spin like they have to spin it. You know, and even one club I read called them anti-federalist. You know, and I believe that most of us who are pro-liberty are anti-federalist. So, you know, that's an okay thing to be. If you ever get tagged with the tag anti-federalist, take that. Take that. That's okay. So, you know, listen, guys, sticking up for the Constitution, Bill of Rights, and all of these things, this is not a bad thing. I don't care what color you are. I don't care what religion you are. If you're America and you stick up for these things, that's a good thing. If you stick up for these things the way that you were told to stick up for them, meaning defend them with your life, that's a good thing. So, you know, we've lost our way of thinking because we become so complacent, so, you know, just okay with everything. And the government has our back. They'll fix it. They'll take care of everything. We'll elect a couple or a few more corrupt people, not just a couple, but a few more corrupt people, and they'll just, you know, they'll take care of everything. They'll do it all, and we don't have to do anything. So we've turned into that society, and we forgot that not everybody out there is like that. There are some people that still believe in the Constitution. There are some people that still believe in fighting for our freedoms to the death. You know, and not that anybody had to die in this particular situation. I believe it was very clear when Ammon sent the message from jail saying, hey, listen, you know, this was never meant to go into a bloodshed kind of thing. You know, stand down. And he understands, having wisdom and being an older man, to stand down means you're going to live another day to be able to tell your story, to get another foothold on the enemy. And that's what this is about. We're getting a foothold on the enemy. We're getting one up on the enemy. So don't expect that to not be answered. They're going to retaliate. They're going to go after supporters. They're going to go after reporters. They're going to go after everybody that they can find any little bit of anything that they can put on you. They're trying to find it. And with that being said, I am also concerned here, you know, for our well-being. And Anon Live in the All Right Matter Show. Like I said, we have been covering this thing extensively. I'm concerned for Brandon Curtis. I'm concerned for Deb. I'm concerned for all of these people because anybody that stands up for freedom, for liberty, for justice, you know, being singled out. And you know, I've already been singled out. Now it's going on about, I believe, 2 weeks ago now. Yeah, tomorrow, 2 weeks, where the black FBI trucks showed up to my house. So you can go on my YouTube and see the video for that. It's a positive fact. Shut the electric to my road, and the 2 FBI trucks showed right up. And that's on the countryside of town where I was living on side of a mountain, very nice area. So the last day I was actually living there before I moved to where I am now, which is also a nice area, but near the shopping district area. So it's a lot busier down here. I'm happy I'm here now. There's plenty of eyes and ears around me. Over there was nobody. I'm just happy. I pray a lot, guys. So, you know, people are being singled out. So we're going to see a lot more arrests happen these few days. This thing is not over. Listen to me. Because they surrendered, this is not over. This is only the beginning of another phase. Standoff at the refuge is over. But the next phase of standing up for your liberty is just beginning. There are a lot of people that are going to be thrown in jail for unjust reasons, and there's going to be a long fight ahead. And this fight is not going to be one of guns. It's going to be one of inflation, of words, of ideas. And our biggest fight is going to be unity. Okay? Anybody that believes in truth, freedom, justice, and all of those good things, our biggest fight is not going to be those things. It's going to be unity. We have to unite against a common enemy. We all have a common enemy. And we know that the government, the federal government, is not in our best interest. We know this. This is a fact. This is truth. Okay? So, if we unite against them, whether you're part of PPN, Idaho 3%ers, Black Panthers, there's a wonderful group of people called the Uhuru movement. Whatever group that you're a part of, if I could say something to all groups at one time, is we all have the same common enemy. Now, for my people that are out there that are 3%ers and groups that are similar to 3%ers, this is how this works, and this is why people don't like your groups. I'm just going to be honest with you. It's mainly because you're comprised of for law enforcement, and being comprised of formal law enforcement says something. And it even says to me, look, I see truth, and I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat it. It's nerve-wracking to know that there are so many former law enforcement officers in the 3%ers, so other factions that are like 3%ers. And that's because of a couple different reasons. One of the reasons being tied to the fact that a lot of law enforcement is also involved in Masonry. So you're done being an officer of law doesn't mean you're done being a Mason. So a lot of these guys are still brothers with their former brothers, if that makes sense. So with that being said, a lot of favors exchanged, a lot of words behind closed doors get exchanged, and this is a fact. This is a reality. Now, this is fantasy we're saying. You can look this up. You can talk to law enforcement officers, former and current. They will tell you the same thing. And when you get some of these guys involved in these organizations and groups, you are going to get people that are infiltrators. You are going to get people that are not there for good, people that are there to disrupt, people that are there to bring evil. And that's not what we're supposed to be doing. That's not, when we see that and when we see those people, look, we got to get out of there. Okay? We got to call out. We can't keep using this brotherhood thing and all of this to protect people. That's what's going on. And that's why so many people are getting killed in the streets right now, because officers, quote, good officers, are not standing for righteous causes. They'll stand up for righteousness in the street, but behind closed doors, they won't stand up for the same people that they stand in the streets. So it's a double standard that the good officers are living that's allowed this to happen. The people in uprising is allowing this to happen. So we're getting killed by the police. And then, when the police officers join organizations, the 3%ers and organizations, it's hard to look at them as being, defenders of the Constitution, because what we see, especially with some rhetoric that's out there, I'm telling you, when I say we say, I'm speaking from a blackness perspective, and a black man that served in the military, by the way, from that perspective. What I see, I'll personalize it. What I see is a group of people, if you look through their profiles and if you look through their pictures, when the black folks are raising up saying, hey, the law enforcement is unjust actors in our community, and you couple that with all the other unjust practices that are happening in our community, we can't breathe. Our hands are up and we cannot breathe. But then you look at some of the centers in our organizations and pictures and things like that. And, there's a lot of jokes and memes of jokes about African Americans died at the hand of law enforcement. There's a lot of Confederate flag people that, say a lot of evil, hateful things towards black people. You have your group of people that don't think black people should have guns. You have your groups of those people that are in there that think that, black people are the N-word. It goes on and on and on. So when it comes down to unity, a guy looking from the inside, you look and you say, well, who can I really work with there? Who am I aligned with? Because it doesn't seem like any of these guys have any of my best interest in mind. Whenever somebody I know dies that looks like me, they make fun of it. And it's not a serious issue. And even pictures that say, hey, look, if you get your groups out here that say, hey, law enforcement, we're about to stand up to you. You're not going to kill any more of our people, or else it's going to be a problem. You'll get your, people in the 3%ers and other groups that'll say, hey, well, if you give law enforcement a problem, remember, we have their back, we'll give you a problem. Well, how is that helping anything? How is that helping anything? Okay? So you have one group standing up saying, we'll defend ourselves, but then you have another group that's a defensive group saying, if you stand up to defend yourselves, we'll defend those people that you're defending yourselves against. It's where the logic breaks down. Now, this is exactly 16 minutes in. You can replay that again if you want to hear it again. 16 minutes again. That's where the logic breaks down. So this is what I'm saying. The 3%ers are going to have to figure out whose side they're on. Are you on America's side? Because right now, you're not paying the thugs that have been hired by the federal government and by the state governments. You're not paying those thugs. Our tax dollars are all paying for those people that are becoming thugs of the government. Are there still good cops? Yes, there's good cops. I'm not making blanket statements. Okay, that's 16 minutes and 50 seconds for you people that don't understand that. I am not making blanket statements. But as a whole and as a culture and as a direction to where this is going, the government has thugs. The government has crooks. And they're all getting paid off of the same books. Okay? This is a fact. This is not fiction. This is not speculative. It's none of that. So that's what we're looking at. So 3%ers, PPN, and other groups that are like that, you're going to have to reconsider your position now. And I said this a long time ago, so I've been doing all of these videos, that there would come a day and time where one of yours would get killed, and then you would look for the world to say, hey, look at what happened, and then everyone would turn their backs because you didn't pay attention to everyone else's problems. And I think we're starting to stand in that doorstep, in that doorway right now. So there's a lot of things that we have to discuss, because this is obviously something that we need to shed light on this and try to get unity as fast as possible. If not, we risk not ever getting it. And I said that this would happen at least probably a year ago. You know, you can't ignore the problems of other people and think that your problems are bigger than others, especially when it's the same problem. Now, being ignorant to what your problem truly is a sin in itself. And I believe that a lot of folks that join these, militant kind of defensive militant organizations like that, they don't realize that they have common enemies with the other groups, and they get caught in the rhetoric that is only propagated by the people that are trying to cause division. So that's why a lot of people are having a hard time giving trust to the 3%ers and percenters and other organizations that are like that, because there's a lot of division within the organization. There's a lot of an inconsistent message. So, and when that support is not there and that effort for unity is not there, then it makes it very easy to attack an organization and to rip it apart. So that's what the 3%ers are going to have to figure out, in my personal opinion. So we're going to have a lot to talk about tonight, and we're just going to be truthful, lay everything out on the table. You'll probably hear me say some of the things I'm saying now, but we're going to keep it honest. We're going to keep it friendly. We're not, in any kind of situation where we're going to be attacking Brandon or his organization, because in my opinion, those guys and girls have done an excellent job. They have done an excellent job. Pete's involvement, everyone's involvement is always questionable. But when you get down to it and you start looking at everything and you look over all the information, that's when you make a true and accurate a guess of what you're looking at. And I say Pete's involvement, critical and necessary. If we all can't see those videos that are out there, we don't know what the federal government would even be prosecuting them on. So we're all able to see the information. We need to be happy about that. Everyone was happy to 3%ers and PPN were there to help out. We need to stay happy about that and understand that error and indication, it happened. Okay? So our job now is to say, how can we get past error indication? The FBI went in there. They effectively did the job the right way because they were forced to by the people. We have to give credit where credit is due. We beat them in the information war, maybe not the physical overall war, but we beat them in the information war. Now, how do we capitalize on continuing to win this effort so that we can backtrack some of these over-federalized policies that are happening within the states? That's what we need to be focused on. We need to do that with unity and cohesion. So we're going to get a lot of out tonight and address a lot of things. Stay alert, stay alive. 9 p.m. Anon.live.